keep it all going, and because we don't want to.
Good morning, everybody. We'll call to order our May 14th, 2019 regular meeting of the Mason County Board of Commissioners. Begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Jerry, if you wouldn't mind leading us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Thanks, Jerry. If the clerk would please take a roll.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
And Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
Very good. Thank you. Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Item 4.1, if the clerk would please report the correspondence.
Letter of interest for the Cemetery District 1 position was received from Deborah Braz. Darren Holland, William Adam, William Kendrick, Mark Nault, and Brian Dayton submitted applications for the Civil Service Commission. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent a liquor license application for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group at the Salmon Center in Belfair. Washington Department of Natural Resources sent a county income report explanation of tables for April 2019. And the Washington State County Road Administration Board, CRAB, sent a certificate of good practice for our county engineer. And Wave Broadband sent in a summary of revenues.
Very good. Thank you. Item 4.2, we have a report from the Timberland Regional Library, and just ask Cheryl Haywood to come forward.
Good morning. Thank you for this
Good morning.
opportunity. Before I get started, I'd like to have Mary Halterman stand up and introduce herself and where she's going.
Hi, my name is Mary Halterman. I am the Senior Youth Services Librarian at Shelton and Eastport Timberland Libraries. Starting this Thursday, I will be the interim manager of the North Mason Timberland Library in Belfair.
Congratulations.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
And so Jenny, who is the manager, has accepted an internal transfer to the Ocean Park Timberland Library. It's been a long-time dream of hers to work by the ocean. So if you want to visit her, you'll have to go all the way down to Ocean Park. So, yeah. And then I want to also mention that the Shelton Timberland Library will be under construction the middle of June, or that's what we've been told so far, with a new roof, new outdoor paint, and a new deck. And all of these are funds that are coming from the Department of Commerce, and the city is overseeing it because the city owns the building. We provide the service in Shelton. So I'm here today to talk, I know it's already May, but I'm here to talk about 2018 and the highlights in 2018. And then I'm also here to talk a little bit about the highlights of this year. So on behalf of 300 or so employees, thank you for the opportunity to share with you the 2018 State of the Library report. The new programs, services, and initiatives that happened in 2018 captured the essence of the library's mission statement, which is Timberland Regional Library invites discovery and interaction with our vibrant collection, services, and programs for learning, enrichment, and enjoyment for people of all ages in our diverse communities. So here are the highlights. We introduced Explore Timberland, Explorar Timberland. The goal with this new program is to spread the word about Timberland's library services, connect people with people we have not yet reached, distribute books into the community to enrich reading experiences, and provide additional opportunities for adults and children to interact with books together. So we've taken our weeded books from our collection of over 1.2 million items, and we've made them available for free to give away at local organizations, businesses, doctors' offices, waiting rooms, laundromats, schools, preschools, and so on. So in Mason County, there are 3 locations: the Turning Point Women's Shelter, the Oakland Bay Pediatrics, and the Olympic Laundromat. Another highlight of 2018 is the Timberland Regional Library Story Trail. So if you're going out to Randall in East Lewis County, this is a new partnership project between the Mountain View Timberland Library and the Cowlitz Valley Ranger District, which brought literacy to the trails. So we encourage everyone to get out to the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest and walk the lower loop of Woods Creek Trail number 247 while experiencing the story, The Big Woods Orchestra, along with nature facts. A third highlight of 2018 was the Veterans History Project. We are a proud official partner of the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, whose mission it is to collect and archive and provide access to personal accounts of American war veterans, so that future generations may hear directly from veterans and better understand the realities of war. So you will find 170 recordings of local veteran stories that you can either watch online or check out as a DVD by visiting trl.org. The videos are also archived at the Library of Congress. We opened up a kiosk at the Hawks Prairie location. It's called the Baby Boomers Bikes and Chain and Pedal Cafe. So you can get a bike, you can rent a bike, an e-bike, you can get a cup of coffee, and you can pick up and drop off your library holds at the Baby Boomers Bikes and Chain and Pedal Cafe. Number 5, Hoquiam-Timberland Library received over $1 million. This is, again, a city library owned by the city. They had applied for a CDBG grant, just like the city of Shelton did for the Shelton Library. And then they got an additional they got $750,000 or $704,000 of a CDBG grant, and then $250,000 from the state capital budget to bring improvements to the Carnegie Building at the Hoquiam-Timberland Library. Also in 2018, Lucky Day Collection. We heard over and over again from our patrons that there were long holds lists waiting for the bestseller to come in. And so we created a Lucky Day Collection, 20 of the latest bestsellers. That is your lucky day to walk into any one of our libraries and check it out. Starting next week, there will be a Lucky Day film collection, because that's another area where there's high demand for feature films. Number 7, we worked with the local community colleges, the State Board of Community and Technical Colleges, the Washington State Library, in partnership with Centralia College, Olympic College, Grace Harbor College, and South Puget Sound Community College to bring forward High School 21 Plus and IDEA. And IDEA is an acronym for Integrated Digital English Acceleration, to learn English online and in person. High School 21 is for people over 21 who don't have a high school degree, and it impedes them from getting a job or moving up in their company. And there we estimate there's over 40,000 people in the 5-county region we serve who are over 21 who don't have a high school degree. So in this county, is it Shelton? I'm trying to remember where it is in this county. It must be North Mason, where you get to check out a Chromebook. We got about an $82,000 grant through Grace Harbor College to purchase Chromebooks for students to check out to do these online classes. I understand, Commissioner, that you've been to one of our community engagement conversations recently, so you know that we're working on a strategic plan for 2020 to 2022. And last fall, we had 634 people participate in a conversation, online surveys, etc. And we are currently going through another iteration of conversations to find out exactly what people would like to see. And then we will, by the end of this year, we will have a strategic plan in place for the next 3 years. I want to share with you very briefly just some statistics. While physical checkouts, and physical is checking out books, magazines, the physical elements of the collection, that decreased by 5.3% from 2017 to 2018, and that's what we're seeing a little bit across the district, but also across the country. It's the same thing, it's the same pattern, so it's not to be alarmed by it, but what we're seeing is a 15.5% increase from 2017 to 18 for downloadable material. And so during that time, actually earlier this year, we introduced a new streaming service, and that is called Kanopy, Kanopy with a K. You have access with your library card to 5 streaming films a month, 30,000 titles of feature films and documentaries for people of all ages, and this is with public performance rights, so you can show them in public places and in schools. Let's see, there was a 9% increase district-wide, 5 counties, in terms of library card holders. I brought a pretty big packet, which I'm not going to go over this morning, but I do want to, so you have a decal to put on your card. You have a very short annual report that you can go through. There's a more extensive one on our website. There's new services here like a mobile app that you can read more about, that you can download for our services. And then we have some pop-up libraries in Morton and Mineral and Lewis County. And then there's more information here about the Lucky Day and other collections that we have. There's information here about the community engagement process. And then on this side is a 1-year pilot at the McCleary Timberland Library that anybody with a Timberland library card can access for free, and you can sign up at any one of our libraries. This allows for expanded access from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that you can access the McCleary Timberland Library when the staff are not there. You can go there when the staff are there, but when the staff are not there. So it went from 27 hours a week of staff to 91 hours a week with this expanded access, so that you have access to pick up your holds, to read a book there, to access the internet. And what we're finding is people are coming in for workforce development. They're applying for jobs. They're printing out their resumes. They're a real estate owner. They're bringing in their kids. They're playing in the kids section while they're doing their work. And so it's been going really, really well. We're into month 3 of this project. I also brought with me because as you know, we are part of the WorkSource system. And our 27 libraries have applied to become connection sites as part of WorkSource. So this is, in a nutshell, all of the resources we have that can help people in terms of career-connected learning and also online training and so on. So I encourage you to look at that. And then, last but not least, the highlights of the 2018 Summer Library Program last summer, but I'm sharing this with you because there's outcome-based measurements here that you are going to be interested in knowing more about. And this is this year's, what is it called? A Universe of Stories. And so this is the Mason County one with all the programs going on at the 3 libraries starting June 1st. So I encourage you to get to spread the word of everything that you've just learned from me today and everything that you've learned or will learn in the packet. Please share the wealth of information that we have to offer, and of course, all of this is free. Any questions?
What does the astronaut training camp look like?
I don't know. Is that yours?
The astronaut training camp is for kids and teens. We're going to have an obstacle course. We're going to have some astronaut food taste testing. You can try to put together some nuts and bolts wearing large gloves, because astronauts have to wear gloves, obviously, in space. So it's a fun way to practice being an astronaut.
How
this
young?
summer at the library.
How young?
Yeah.
You.
Can a 9-year-old?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I think they'll have a great time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a daughter who wants to be an astronaut.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she should come
I'll
out.
help her however she can.
Very good. Any other questions?
No, I'm excited for what you guys are doing. The community conversation was a lot of fun to attend, and it was interesting listening to everyone put their thoughts together.
Yes.
So you have a very diverse group, but I'm excited to see what you guys come up with.
Yes, some themes are starting to emerge,
Yeah.
both at the local level and at the regional level. So I'm very excited to have those conversations and then figure out how do you bring that down to the nuts and bolts, right? What does that really look like? Yeah, I'm very excited for the next iteration of our strategic plan. Well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm sure I'll see you around.
Of course.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to item number 5. This is our open forum for citizen input. It's an opportunity for members of the public to comment on items not on today's agenda. If a member of the public would like to comment on an item not on our agenda, raise your hand. The chair will recognize you. Come to the podium, state your name, and make your comments. Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ken Van Buskirk from Belfair. Several months ago, I sent a picture of an encampment I found on the Union River Irene Davis Preserve that Forterra owns. And I'm happy to let you folks know that Forterra is coming out towards the end of the month. And we've got a group of volunteers that are going to work to get all the debris out of there and removed from the site. And I have to post the property to no trespassing. And, but it appears that it's been abandoned, and we'll get all the debris out of there soon. So thank you.
The people have left?
Well, I was just in there a week or so ago, and there's no signs that they've come back. So.
Yeah. Thanks for the update, Ken. Yep. Appreciate it. Any other public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 6, adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the agenda for May 14th, 2019.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda for May 14th. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And the motion carries. Item 7, we have no minutes to approve, so we'll move on to item number 8. This is our action agenda. Commissioners will read through the items on today's action agenda, at which time an item may be removed for a separate discussion and vote. Commissioner Netherland, if you please take item 8.1 through 3, Commissioner Trask 8.4 through 6, and I'll do the remainder.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Item number 8.1 reads, approval of the private line occupancy permit granting permission to run the utility lines under and across Phillips Lake Road for parcel number 22005-52-00026. Item number 8.2, approval to authorize the chair to execute and adopt a road agreement between Mason County and Baxter for Anthony Road. Item number 8.3, approval to have the chair execute the interlocal agreement between PUD 3 and Mason County for the lighting retrofitting project on Harstein Island Bridge.
Item 8.4, approval to delegate signature authority to Robert Choate, Water and Wastewater Manager, in order to submit reports or documents for Russellwood, North Bay, Case Inlet, and Belfair wastewater facilities. Item 8.5, approval of warrants and treasurer electronic remittances. Claims Clearing Fund warrants number 8064054 through 8064194 in the amount of $250,000 or $250,006.69. Treasury electronic remittance for April 2019 in the amount of $266,602.01. Approval to set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th at 9:15 a.m. to consider amendments to Title 17 relating to raising building height limits.
Item 8.7, approval to set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 at 9:15 a.m. to consider a rezone request of 30 acres from Rural Residential 5, RR5, to Rural Tourist Campground, RTC. Item 8.8, approval to set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 at 9:15 a.m. to consider proposed amendments to Title 8, Chapter 8.52 Resource Ordinance. And item 8.9, approval to set a public hearing on Tuesday, June 11th, 2019 to consider the application from Nicholas Polsky to place parcel 52024-34-00030 into open space. Commissioners, now that we've read through the items on today's action agenda, are there any items you'd like to be removed for a separate discussion or vote? No? Now that we've read through it, is there any items the public would like to have removed for a separate discussion and vote? Ken?
Item 8.6.
Okay, we will remove item 8.6 for a separate discussion and vote. Any other items? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda as presented with the exception of 8.6, which will be removed for a separate vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the items on the action agenda with the exception of item 8.6, which is going to be removed for a separate vote. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries. Moves us to item 8.6, approval to set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 at 9:15 a.m. to consider amendments to Title 17 relating to raising building height limits. And I'd ask Cal to come forward and just do a quick briefing.
Good morning, Kel Rowan with Mason County Planning Department. This is scheduled for a public hearing on June 4th, and we were looking at, it was requested that building height limits that are set at a maximum height of 35 feet for the most part. There are some districts that do allow up to 45 feet and some industrial districts that are unlimited depending on the nature of the development. But this was to look at raising height limits in the Belfair urban growth area, and then we looked at Allen, Shelton urban growth area, and the rural areas in the commercial districts as well. And this went to the PAC. We decided to go up to 55 feet with a special use permit because each lot is unique and may have its own unique circumstances. And so we found it to be appropriate to take it to the hearing examiner to examine different the height limitations and looking at the unique situation and whether or not it would be appropriate for all lots, that it may not be, raising the height limit to 55 feet may not be appropriate for all lots. So we like the special use permit requirement. In the Belfair urban growth area, there is a section under the mixed use district where we raised it to 55 feet. However, it does stay at 35 feet, no more than 35 feet above grade level of the roadway within 150 feet of SR3 right-of-way due to the view corridor.
Okay, very good. Any questions for staff, Commissioner?
I'll clarify, so it's currently, it can go up to the 50 feet area as long as it's outside of or within the 150 feet of Highway 3?
It reads, so I'll read the section in its entirety for the mixed-use district. The maximum height of structures in the district shall be 55 feet with the following exception. The top of buildings or structures, including roof lines but excluding church spires, bell towers, and chimneys on the west side of SR3 shall not reach an elevation of more than 35 feet above the grade level of the roadway within 150 feet of the SR3 right-of-way.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other questions for staff? Okay, any questions from the public for staff? Okay, thanks, Cal. With that, we'll move into public comment on item 8.6. If you'd like to make comment, raise your hand, the chair will recognize you, come forward. Okay?
Commissioners, Ken Van Busker, Davis Farm Road in Belfair. I simply wanted to ask you to table the hearing, or setting the hearing date for this, because the hearings examiner is having a very important meeting on the 22nd of this month and will render a decision regarding a moratorium removal also in the Belfair urban growth area that could have an effect on this particular thing. And I just would ask that you consider delaying setting the hearing date until after that decision is rendered. And I'd also like you to, these are some comments that I submitted to the Planning Advisory Commission on April 15th, and I just want you folks to have a copy of it for your consideration as well. Thank you.
Ken?
Yes.
What effect could, I'm aware of the issue that's coming up, but what effect could that have on this potential change in our code?
Well,
Regardless of which way they rule, what effect could it have?
the property that the moratorium is being considered to be lifted from was subject to a rezone, and I believe it was rezoned in air. The moratorium should have been lifted first. That potential property could expand if the person builds what he's talking about building to a height greater than what is allowed by current ordinance. So that's all. It's related, and I think it's important that it be considered. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other public comment on 8.6? Okay, hearing none, move into commissioner deliberation or a motion.
I'll start with a little deliberation. In regards to what was just presented, I was curious because I didn't know of any conflict. I still don't see where there'd be a conflict. We don't make rules or laws for one parcel and for one property owner. It's for everybody. So regardless of whether they get their moratorium removed or not, have no bearing on whether or not we should have a hearing to decide whether we'll pass this law, because the law is for the whole county and these certain sections in the county, not that particular parcel.
Okay, thank you. Any other deliberations or a motion? Or? anything?
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019, 9:15 a.m. to consider amendments to Title 17 relating to raising building height limits.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to set a hearing on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019 at 9:15 a.m. to consider amendments to Title 17 relating to raising building height limits. Any additional discussion? I'll just say thanks, Ken, for coming down and providing the additional comments to us today. We'll wait and see how the 22nd turns out, and that may we may learn something from that process that would affect this, but at this point I'm comfortable moving forward with having a hearing on the 4th. Any additional discussion? Okay, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, and the motion carries. Okay, moving on to item number 9, other business. We have any department heads or elected officials that would like to speak? No? Fair enough. Okay, moving on to item number 10, no public hearings today, so item 11, board reports and calendar. I'll kick us off, Commissioner Netherland, if you'd go second, and then we'll finish with Commissioner Trask. Just a few things going forward this week. I have a meeting later today with Superior Court and Judge Finley to talk about BHO transition as that model changes here in the next several months. Also have a MACECOM board meeting, criminal justice working team meeting, early learning coalition awards, and then our public works director, Jerry House, retirement party later on this week as well. Since this is Jerry's last meeting with us in his official capacity as director, I just want to extend my thanks, my gratitude for all of your service, not just in this latest stint with Mason County, but in all of your years of public service. It's certainly much appreciated by me, and you'll be missed. One of the things that I always appreciated about you was your candor in our conversations, and you were never afraid to tell me that my thinking was wrong. But always very willing to find reasonable solutions, and so I always appreciated your willingness to work with us on issues and find solutions to the challenges that we are facing in the county. And I know that things will continue to move forward without you, but you will certainly be missed. And I appreciated having an opportunity to work with you over these past couple of years. So
Thank you very
wish you all the
much.
best in your retirement.
Working here has been one of the greatest pleasures.
Do you want me to go back to item number 9 so you can go?
Do you want to come? Do you want to say anything, or?
Yeah, being new, my knowledge is, like this compared to these guys. But you've always been there to help me. If I ever had a question, I could always just call Jerry. And
Help or mislead.
no, you helped a lot. I'll miss you.
Thank you.
Jerry, I've had the distinct honor of knowing about you for years. It's funny you mentioned his candor. People don't know, but many years ago, that's what got him in trouble here. And it was my honor, because what happened is there was a very controversial issue, and regardless of how the pressures were on him, he dared, and I mean dared, to tell the truth. And it sent a shockwave through our community, and the treatment that he had at that time was below the dignity of our county for daring to stand up and tell the truth. He knows what I'm talking about because it was important. To be able to have him come back and finish his career in honor and integrity that he's given this community. So many things had been done in the years that he was here, and I want to remind him of a question that he asked us when we re-interviewed him for this position. He asked us, so commissioners, why is it that the last new road built in this county was more than 10 years ago? Because that's when he was here at the time. I just want to tell you, sir, it has been an honor. I am so proud to have been able to bring you back and allow you the dignity that you deserved, and you definitely leave this county in a better place now than you had it when you came, including the sewer.
Commissioner, you weren't supposed to do this to me. Sorry for my dignity.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Well, we look forward to having another opportunity to do this to you on Thursday in front of the rest of your staff. So
He was hitting me with a box. I thought he was poking me, say, stop it, leave him alone.
But, thank you,
Thank you
Jerry.
very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Commissioner Calendar.
Oh. We actually have another job to do. What a concept. Okay, attended the Law Library, a meeting of Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority, Economic Development Council meetings. I sat down for interview for a video with Mark Whitowich in regards to different things that are going up in North Mason region. Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization meeting. I had another meeting of the ORCA for finance. I met with WashDOT and had some discussions with them regarding signage and membership on the Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization. A few things with constituents. Coming up, I have Mason Transit Authority planning, Mason Transit Authority agenda planning meeting. North Mason Chamber of Commerce luncheon. I will be attending your retirement, sir. Your retirement party. Hood Canal Compass have a meeting of the ARC. Businesses looking to expand, and a nonprofit organization that's asked me to come and help them. They've had some issues with their board to help them put it together and help them learn how to have the proper meetings. With that, that brings us back to briefings, and we start all over again.
Very good, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Trask?
Later today, I'll be attending the Shelton LTAC meeting. Tomorrow, I get to be a judge on the Shelton Business Plan, Shelton High School Business Plan competition. Later that night, I'll be Forest Festival planning. Then Thursday is the Community Early Learning Celebration at the Colonial House. Chamber Luncheon Education in Mason County at PUD 3. Jerry's retirement. Friday, I have a meeting here with a constituent. And also, this weekend is also the Bluegrass Festival at the Shelton High School. I'd encourage everyone to go to that. Should be fun. And then that brings us back to Monday.
Okay, very good. Having reached the end of our agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
We're adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.